It is 1 o'clock. Welcome back in. It's three-man front. A lot of stuff happening today. First and foremost, if you're a YouTube subscriber, you're holding your breath because you might not be able to see the Auburn game coming up on Friday night or the Ohio State-Texas game on Saturday because Google, owners of YouTube, and Fox Television, they are in impasse right now. So they have given Wednesday as the line of demarcation. So we'll see what happens in regards to the negotiation. Also, there's an engagement announcement that we'll talk to Demetri Ravanos about in just a couple moments. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce have officially decided that they will exchange nuptials. So congratulations to those two. Alabama cancels next year's 2-year series with West Virginia. I would anticipate that the folks in Stillwater, Oklahoma are probably holding their breath because Alabama will soon cancel that series, which is supposed to take place, I believe, in 28-29.
I think they're going to keep the Ohio State one.
I think that one is going to, at least for now, continue on the books.
I hope they keep that.
Because that is truly what is best for all of college football.
Absolutely.
That's what you need to do. So that's the situation there. Meanwhile,
that's a win for America because one of those teams is going to get beat.
That's a great point, Landry.
That's true. Also this morning, Auburn's On3 site, they were saying that Eric Singleton Jr., the wide receiver for Auburn, during the brief practice window this morning, that he is definitely not 100%. Remember, Hugh Freeze mentioned on Monday that he was close, but they were going to have to see how the week played out. So he was in a yellow jersey. He was running around. His left knee was wrapped, but he was favoring it at times, according to Auburn's On3 site. So we'll see if he'll be good to go on Friday night. That is one area that Auburn, whether it's Cam Coleman, Horatio Fields, Malcolm Simmons, Bryce Kane,
Sam Turner.
I mean, the list goes on and on.
Thompson.
It's a very deep wide receiver room. So if he cannot go and hold him out for, obviously, SEC play in a couple of weeks, I think that would be fine. Joining us now on the Higginbotham Hotline, Demetri Ravanos joins us. Demetri, I hope you're doing well on this Tuesday.
I'm doing good. I'm a little taken aback by the canceling of the West Virginia series. Not because I was waiting with bated breath for it, but boy, this kind of feels like a pretty sure sign. And if you're right, Pat, and Oklahoma State is next, I would assume that Arizona and Boston College are both going to be on the chopping block. Doesn't this feel like sort of a sign that we are headed towards a day of stratification, not necessarily conferences? Like, doesn't it feel like the biggest of the big are going to go together? And if you can't pull your weight, you're on your own.
It does, Demetri, but as an Alabama grad, besides the Ohio's, did any of those series really fire you up, the ones that you just mentioned?
I mean, okay, Conrad, I hear you, but if I may also pull my as an Alabama grad card, back in the days when our primary non-conference opponent was a Conference USA Houston, it did. I mean, it was just nice to see Big 12 and ACC and Big 10 teams on the schedule.
Well, this is Landrum who asked you the question.
Thank you, Demetri. I appreciate you thinking I
me
sound
as
like
Conrad. You're now dead to me.
Oh, wow.
I'm not going to lie. My first thought was, how did Conrad gain the status to ask the first question? My bad. My bad.
You know that wouldn't be me, Demetri. Come on.
You know the pecking order on this show, Demetri.
Good.
What are you talking about? All right, so let's talk about Lee Corso. And if anyone was able to read your article from Barrett Media, I mean, this is going to be an emotional weekend as Lee Corso says goodbye on air, and we got a little taste of it last weekend with some videos that ESPN shared.
Yeah, and Reese Davis's video, I thought, was the kind of thing that people in our business need to hear. I mean, Reese said that the thing that he learned from Lee when he took over for Chris Fowler as the anchor of College GameDay was that Lee Corso's mantra is, and this is like a verbatim quote, it's entertainment, sweetheart. Football is just our vehicle. And I think it is really interesting, not just what has become of Game Day, but Fox's answer. I almost wonder if that has gone out the window. Like, Corso was so all about putting on an entertaining product and that the viewers and the audience came first. And I wonder the future of these shows in the hands of people like Pat McAfee and Dave Portnoy, who I have nothing against personally, but their style very much is about furthering their brand. I wonder if the ultimate thing we are losing about Lee Corso is not the headgear or the not so fast, my friend. It is the fact that he is a dude that 100% got what the business was.
So, Demetri, and that's kind of what I wanted to get into with you, because I thought in your article, it's very interesting how you brought up, kind of the career arc for Lee Corso of when he needed to be the guy, he was happy to be the guy. When he needed to take a step back and let other people be the guy, he had no problem doing that as well. He was just kind of all-encompassing, and I guess you're not ever going to be able to replace that. Do you think, with Nick Saban, right? I think we all agree he did a great job last year, but it just doesn't seem like maybe he's quite as personable as Lee Corso. Do you think there's a way you could ever find another figure that the audience will relate to like Lee Corso? Is that just such a thing of the past at this point?
I think if you find it, it's got to be completely organic. You cannot force someone in that role, which is why I think the smartest thing they can do is let the headgear thing, go to the big sports media bit bin in the sky, because nobody is going to be able to do that the way that he did. I genuinely, I look at guys like Saban on ESPN and Urban Meyer on Fox and wonder if we are not sort of getting towards the day where guys like that who are so serious about this sport wonder if there is a place for them on pregame shows like that. Corso found the line. I mean, hell, Corso created the line for what worked in that combination of entertainment and knowledge space. I think ESPN fell ass backwards into the very best situation they could have had for that show. And I hope everybody running it now is smart enough to know you can't just create that. You've got to catch lightning in a bottle.
Demetri, would it be fair, in all due respect, to compare maybe Lee Corso, what he meant to that show and to college football fans, a lot like the Today Show back when Willard Scott was on there?
Yeah, I think that's fair. I also think that, the show – I had this conversation with Kirk Herbstreit a few years ago, that the show that Game Day – always gets compared to in terms of pregame shows and how much they mean to the sport they cover is obviously Inside the NBA, right? And I think the key difference, and this is why I think Willard Scott is a good comparison, the key difference is you never heard Lee Corso, even as college football completely transformed, you never heard him talk about how terrible it is compared to back when he was coaching or back when he started this job. And as much as all of us in Alabama like Charles Barkley and acknowledge he's a great entertainer, I'm not sure what he does on Inside the NBA aside from complain about the modern NBA. I think Lee Corso was so valuable not just to ESPN because of his big personality, but he was valuable to the sport because he wanted it to succeed.
Demetri, in regards to the legacy of Lee Corso, and, ESPN did just an amazing thing by when Lee Corso had the stroke and he was able to come back after rehab and come back and continue to be an integral part of that program. Do you think once he does depart the show after Saturday, do you think that vacuum will kind of fill in regards to the comedic value that you would have sometimes? Or do you think this is going to be more of a kind of a stand-up program that you will not have that kind of fun and frivolity that you used to have?
I think you've already seen in the last few years with the addition of McAfee, I think the biggest change is Pat McAfee is a wrestling guy, right? He puts on a show for the people in the crowd. And personally, I think as a TV product, the show suffers, but I'm also not in McAfee's demographic. I think that the fun and frivolity is going to take on a very different form. It's going to be less dad jokey and punny and a little bit more in your face. And frankly, I don't think that the show is ever going to play to cameras again the way it was so good at doing in, the early 2000s, the early days of the show being on the road every week.
Demetri, I'm curious from your perspective. All right, let's say you're put in charge of one of these morning shows, whether it's, Big Noon Kickoff, College Game Day, etc., the Barstool thing they're doing, what would you like to see? What is your vision for this style moving forward? Because it seems, I know you said you don't have a personal problem with the McAfees and Portnoy's and people like that of the world, but moving forward in this world without Lee Corso, what would you like these morning college football programs to look like? How would you want them to be run and operated?
Well, first of all, as somebody who lives in the Eastern time zone, I don't need 3 hours of pregame shows. Start at 9, cut it off at 11, and give me an ACC or an East Coast Big Ten or SEC kickoff at 11 a.m. Eastern time, 10 a.m. Central. That is the number one change I would make. The number two change I would make is pick a course. Like, I think that Pat McAfee is very good at what he does. I think Nick Saban is very good at what he does, but they don't work great together underneath the same umbrella. And I don't mean that the two guys don't get along. I mean they're doing two completely different shows. So pick a lane, I think, is the ultimate thing I would do. And if I'm running the Fox program, I mean, for God's sake, get somebody with a little bit of personality that is not constantly reminding you how good they were. Like, I think the Fox show is just awful.
So Fox should have more drunk undergrads attempting to kick field goals in their pregame show. Is that what you're telling us?
I mean, I think that, listen, with the graduation of Shadur and Travis Hunter, we'll see how often they are in Colorado going forward, but you can only break out sparkly cowboy hats so often. And before people start to realize that's kind of all your show can do.
Great stuff. Demetri, always appreciate your time. Did you enjoy the game in Dublin over the weekend? Did you enjoy that?
I did. I enjoyed that it came down to late heroics. I enjoyed that we had a fight in the streets of Dublin afterwards. Just all around. I really hope that the SEC takes the game internationally at some point. I think it is good for college football to spread the sport around. And obviously, you don't want to go every year, but every 3 to 4 years you put an SEC team, whether it's in Dublin or I think, is it next year, is it Michigan playing in Germany? Like, that makes a lot of sense because of the American military presence. But the SEC should do it, should lean all the way in.
The college football bubble bath that you bring us each and every week, can you tease what is going to be featured? Does it have to do with a pop singer and an NFL star, something else? Where are you going?
Do you know I found out literally right before y'all called, and Molly was in absolute hysterics over all of this, and I haven't even had time to process this yet.
I still haven't processed it.
We will give you all the time you need to process it.
Listen, this does, I think, ruin what would have been the ultimate Super Bowl moment. Now, because of what I used to do in my past life, I have contacts that have told me that, yes, the NFL very much would like to have Taylor Swift do the halftime show this year, and they are like Taylor or bust, right, for the Super Bowl halftime show. And my immediate thought was, oh, my God, is America ready for Taylor doing the halftime show? The Chiefs get back to the game, and they've broken up. But obviously that's not going to happen.
Good stuff. Demetri, always fun talking. We will talk to you after Labor Day. We appreciate it very much. Have a great afternoon.
Thanks, Demetri.
All right, sounds good, guys. Take care.
He joined us on the Higginbotham Hotline. You deserve solutions that are built for you. Higginbotham is your one-source solution for insurance, financial, and HR services.
Some news coming across the wire. We'll get to it. A lot of your text weighing in as well as we are live from Social Taco. Still a really good crowd here in the Terrace. Make time, if you can, to join us before we go off the air at 2 o'clock. But the half-off happy hour is still available to you 3 to 6, Monday through Friday here at Social Taco in the Square in Homewood. Three-man front continues here on Jocks.